Is Battlefield 2042 a good game now? Well, a lot of these YouTubers say it's a good game, so I mean, they're not clickbaiting or view farming, and surely they don't play the game like once a month, specifically for this clickbait YouTube video that they uploaded with a gun inspect thumbnail and white text, claiming the game is amazing and worth trying again and game changing and game breaking and all this other stuff. And unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, I do have to inform you that I'm going to have to drop a reality bomb once again on just the actual state of Battlefield 2042, how it actually is, because unlike a lot of these people that make those types of clickbait view farm videos, I'm not like those people. I actually play the game basically for a living, and I tell the truth. I'm not paid by EA. I'm not influenced by the EA Creator Network or anything like that. I don't have any reason to really care about what EA thinks about me, because guess what? They're never going to talk to me anyway. So I'm going to give it to you guys straight. Is Battlefield 2042 a good game now? Should you actually try it out in 2023? What has changed? What are the remaining problems? Essentially, all you need to know from a source that truly cares about Battlefield, actually plays it every single day, is aware of the current state of the game, and isn't interested in duping people. And with that being said, if you do enjoy the video, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Very close to 50,000 subs. In fact, the 50,000 sub special is almost done, ladies and gentlemen. So if you'd like to see that sooner, definitely hit the sub button. And let's jump right into things. So I know some people are already probably thinking, well, how could we ever trust what Ender say about Battlefield 2042? He only complains and he whines and this and that. He's biased. Well, that couldn't be any farther from the truth. Believe it or not, I actually think about what I say, particularly before I make a video, and I really try to look at it in an unbiased way, consider all sides, and come to a conclusion. And unfortunately, the conclusions that I come to based off of these things that I observe are not exactly what people want to hear, but I try to make sure that it is as close to the reality and the truth of things as possible, and people aren't going to like that because they want to hear something different. That's not my problem. So how is Battlefield 2042 right now? Well, I'm sure a lot of people that continue to play Battlefield 2042 will agree with what I'm about to say. There have been more AI servers than ever. I'm not sure if something happened with the matchmaking, but it's recently been a lot more difficult to get into a full game of Battlefield 2042 than really ever. And of course, this obviously has to do with the game just generally dying off more than it already has. You know, the player count has dipped significantly. I think we're hovering around like 7,000 players on Steam, and then, I don't know, maybe 15 or 20,000 on consoles. Then factor in BattleBit taking away some players and all these great single-player games coming out taking away players. Essentially, the game is in a really sort of boring state right now. As far as the overall state of the game itself, the quality of the product, the game has gotten better over the years. They have fixed some things here and there that are significant, but they've left significant things that would definitely improve the game unfixed. Recently, they have completed all of the base game map reworks for Battlefield 2042, and they are no longer going to be reworking any other maps, obviously. So the reworks have been hit or miss. Some reworks have been great. Like, in my opinion, the Hourglass rework actually significantly improved the playability of that map. And other reworks, like Manifest, have been complete and utter just waste of time that don't impact the way that map plays at all. Recently, they've been messing with the gunplay, and I recently made a video about this. They went about it the right way, but they didn't execute correctly, if that makes sense. They had the right idea. They wanted to implement burst firing into the game, but they didn't implement burst firing correctly, so it actually just made the gunplay worse. For those of you that might be watching this video that haven't played Battlefield 2042 in a very long time, you'll remember that the gunplay is super laser beamy. It's still kind of laser beamy, but it basically just has a lot more spread, and bursting does not feel good. In terms of what is going on in the game right now, Battlefield 2042 Redux is taking place. If you don't know what Battlefield 2042 Redux, or Redo, or whatever you want to call it is essentially recycled content from months ago that people have already experienced. There's no new content, and skins are not content. I know some people are going to say, there's new bundles! Skins aren't content. I will die on that hill. Now, typically, we would already be playing a new season of Battlefield 2042, but unfortunately, this Battlefield 2042 Redux is a 6-week stint between the end of Season 5 and the start of Season 6, which essentially means they delayed the start of Season 6 by 6 weeks. Because if you remember, Season 5 would typically end, and then Season 6 would start immediately after. That's not how this is happening right now. It is essentially one of the most boring times in Battlefield 2042 to date, in my opinion. There's not a lot going on, there's a bunch of recycled content, and generally you can see that echoed in the interest level of the game. If you look around just at anyone's Battlefield channel, right, and Cadwoman, Ghost Gaming, Squid G, whoever you watch Battlefield-wise, the views are going to be down, the interest level is down, the player count is down, simple as that. Now, in terms of if Battlefield 2042 is actually a good game now, I don't think you could ever really call Battlefield 2042 a good game no matter what they do to it. If you're taking in all the facts and all the information with Battlefield 2042, if you're looking at it from an objective standpoint, I think ever calling this game good would be sort of a self-expose. However, acknowledging that the game has made significant progress, that's reasonable and I think accurate to what has actually happened. Should you actually buy or play Battlefield 2042 in 2023? I'm not sure. I'm not sure if there's much of a reason anymore. If you think about all the recent games that have come out, right, all these insane single-player games, my guess is most people would most likely rather play those games, but if you're itching for an FPS experience, which there aren't many of that are even half decent nowadays, if Battlefield 2042 is on significant discount, like do not buy this game full price, I could recommend that you try Battlefield 2042 on sale. I don't think that would necessarily be hurting anything, right? I think it's fine to try and see what the game is like if you haven't played it in a very long time. But I would go into it with realistic expectations, right? You're not going to be blown away by Battlefield 2042 if you've never played it, or if you haven't played it in quite a long time. For those of you that have maybe not played since the beta or maybe an early season, it is basically the same game, minus, again, some fairly significant changes in terms of gunplay and map reworks, but in general, the gameplay itself, how the gameplay loop functions, that hasn't changed. It's gonna play 95% the same. Or you could even argue it might play a little worse, because actually in a lot of these seasons, they've only added more irritations to the game, and I'll expand on that a little bit. The game already had an explosive issue, so what did they do? They added the SPH launcher, which is another explosive, right? So they sort of have compounded the existing issues as time has gone on, which always happens in Battlefield games. So depending on your experience early on with the game, it may be better or could be worse. I suppose it depends on what frustrates you. I suppose it depends on what problems you personally had with the game. If you're wondering whether or not there's a server browser in the game, no, there isn't. There is no server browser, and there never will be for the base game. If you're wondering what Portal is like, Portal is a complete catastrophe. It is infested with completely unplayable servers that have 1000% damage enabled, so you get one shot in the ankle across the map by a G57. 9mm apparently truly does blow the lung out of the body in Battlefield Portal. So if you're hoping to log on to Battlefield Portal for a bit of a nostalgic Battlefield 3 Rush nostalgia trip, I would not hold your breath. And just one final thought before I wrap up this video. If you did enjoy the video to this part, hit the like button and of course subscribe to the channel. Very close to 50,000 subs. And again, thank you to anyone that watches my videos up until this point. You are the bread and butter of the channel. You might even be eating bread and butter right now because apparently people eat to my videos. I mean, that's pretty based. But before I yammer on too much, my final point with this is, how is the game progressing? When is 2042 actually going to end? When is the support going to end? I think it's realistic to expect Battlefield 2042 to maybe see a Season 7 and a Season 8, but I do not think we will ever see a Season 9. I think past Season 8, if they even do that, I think they will feel that they have fulfilled their obligation for a full quote-unquote year 2 of content support, and I think past Season 8, they will cancel the game. So I'd say Battlefield 2042 has about, I don't know, maybe 5 to 8 months of actual developer support left until we can expect them to either pull the plug entirely or heavily ramp down what they're doing with the game. And yeah, that's the state of Battlefield 2042. You can make up your own mind whether or not you actually want to embark on this journey of trying the game again. I try to give my genuine observations of the game. So, you know, some of you might heavily disagree with them, but this is what I experience on a daily basis. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys in the next one. Be sure to sub to the channel. 50K special very, very soon.